Good morning, everybody. How are you all today? My name's Eva. I'm the director of the Scottish Yarn Festival and also of the Scottish Yoga Producer Showcase. The former of those two events is the next one to happen, and it will be taking place on the 9th and 10th of September at the Jewellery Centre in Perth. Tickets for that event, for the festival, are currently live up on our website. So if you haven't got yours yet, we would very much recommend that you get yours ahead of time. And this morning, I'm hoping that I will be joined by Marguerite of Westfield Croft to have a little chat about 3 things from her stall that you do not want to miss this year and who she is most looking forward to seeing at the festival as well. So I'm just going to send an invite to her now. Because there's a slight chill in the air here. This is my Donny shawl by Gritham Ensign, and I made it using a DK weight from Caithness Yarns, which is a blend of Murret and Teeswater. So, because I know I'll be asked, and yes, that is a wooden DPN that I've stuck through because I couldn't find my shawl pin. Marguerite, hello, how are you today?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
I'm sure everyone else can. I'm still having problems with my ears, so I'm not the best person to ask.
Can you hear it a little bit?
There's always something, isn't there? But we should be absolutely fine. If I just look at you blankly for a moment, it's just that I personally can't hear you, so just keep going, okay?
Okay, that's okay.
What beautiful blue sky you've got behind you.
It's a beautiful day, so I thought I'd come outside, and the sheep are in the field behind me, so if there's time at the end, we'll have a little walk in if there's time.
Oh, that would be fabulous. So for the people who are joining in who haven't met you before, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what it is that you do?
Yeah, so my name is Marguerite Fleming. I stay in Aberdeenshire on a small holding called Westfield Croft. And we have about 8 acres, and it's a mixed enterprise. I have a small flock of rare breed sheep that we breed, and mainly for fleece now. We have a willow coppice that we've rejuvenated for basketry willow, and all the other small enterprises, like I keep bees and I have hens. You'll hear the cockerel perhaps in the background giving it large. So so we've a mixed enterprise, but the main business is my main business now is our craft business called Westfield Croft, and it's got wool and willow. There are 2 sort of main cornerstones. So I want to show a bit of both of that today.
Fabulous. So we've kind of been theming these little lives with those vendors of ours that are brave enough to come on and have a wee chat. And just to kind of like keep it a little bit uniform, we're asking for the 3 things that you will have at your stall this year that you shouldn't miss, and then one business that you can't miss.
Yeah.
And you were with us before, so this is your second event with us because you joined us for our Scottish Yoga Producer Showcase that we had in March. I think you were a firm customer favourite. I know that I rehomed a significant amount of yarn from your stall. I bought a basket for a friend because they're just absolutely stunning. Everything on your stall was just, it was like a magpie. Just wanted in at all the beautiful treasures. But yeah, you went from the single stall at that event, and you sized up. You're going into the double.
Going for it. Yeah, so because the baskets are quite big, I thought we'd go for a double stand, so then we can sort of spread things out as well, and then people can get in and have a really good look.
There'll be no missing you.
No, I hope not. I hope not. So I guess the 3 things I wanted to show are our main focus is undyed yarn from our own sheep, but also from smallholders, farmers that I know that have a breed of sheep that I would like to make yarn from. So we do it in a kind of cooperative manner. I'll go when they're being clipped and select the fleeces and skirt them and then send them off to be spun. So the one I really wanted to show people today is a Shetland yarn. And the reason I want to show it is it is undyed. But because I've had some feedback at recent shows where people have expected it to be quite coarse, but then when they feel it, it is really soft. People have an expectation. I don't know, maybe they think Shetland might be a little bit scratchy, but this is a really soft yarn. The the reason it's so soft is it's a pedigree flock of Shetland sheep, so they have a very strong breeding program for fleece, because one of the ladies that I source the fleeces from, she shows her sheep, and wool is a big part of the showing. And we also selected the fleeces based on the age of the sheep. So we preferentially selected out the hog fleeces, which are the younger sheep. Mm-hmm. So they have the lamb fleece plus a year's growth. So those two combinations have made this yarn particularly soft. I have it in 3 weights: Aran, double knitting, and 4-ply, and it is in 6 natural colours. So we have we've a kind of, I think I've called this stone grey, a murret, white with a leaf on it. Remove the leaf. White, quite a pale grey, black, which is really like a really dark bitter chocolate brown in reality, but I've labelled it black, and an Emskit grey, which is kind of a steely blue colour. And Emskit is one of the names of the Shetland sheep colours that they produce. So yeah, I think it can get a little overlooked, this yarn, but it is actually beautiful. So that was one of the, I think people should have a good close look at this yarn when they come to the stand. Don't pass it by. Pick it up, have a feel how soft it actually is. And I think you'll like it. I've sold a few jumpers worth to people recently, and I'll be really excited to see the photos when they come back, when the jumpers are finished, which will probably happen over winter, let's face it.
I do always wonder if it's maybe that, you know how you kind of conjure an image up in your mind when somebody tells you about something. Yeah. So people still think about Scotland and it's bagpipes and it's shortbread and it's haggis, and it's like, yeah, real Scotland, contemporary Scotland isn't actually like that. And whether the kind of the romance and the history and the misconception about Shetland is that yes, it is a rugged landscape and such, and yes, they have those extremely strong winds, that's then translated onto the wool, and you think the wool is extremely coarse and maybe more Lopi-esque.
Yeah,
and maybe that's where something is kind of being lost. And actually, when you process Shetland and when you wash it and block it as well, and it just blooms, it's incredibly soft.
Yeah, I think that's my experience of the last, having had this yarn for about 6 months now. The people who've picked it up have gone, oh my goodness, that's really soft for Shetland. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I do think it's a combination of the two things, the breeding and when we selected the fleeces. But yeah, I would just like people to have a touch and feel and see how soft it is, and put it up to your face and see that it is softer than maybe you expect. But I'm hoping when we get some feedback from people who've knitted up jumpers, to see how robust a yarn it is also, because it is it has a really strong feel to it too. So yeah, that's number 1.
So just before we go in for number 2, we've had a question here from Farm Ness. I'll just scroll back. Is there any breed of fleece you want to try that you haven't got yet? I think that's for you.
Yeah, I am. I'm, as you know, I'm trying to develop a Scottish Lopi. I've had some Lopi yarn made from our Borray sheep and Hebridean, and I would just love to get more Icelandic yarn. Fleeces. The issue with that up here, and it's probably a global, it's probably an issue perhaps with the breed, is if we have a mixed weather spring, the fleece is felt on the sheep's back. So they come off as a rug. and that's why, you know, you can see felted rugs made of Icelandic. It's quite hard to get the fleece off in a loose manner that can then be processed further for yarn. Um, I guess there's two ways around it, is to maybe rue the sheep so that they're hand stripped, but obviously that takes a huge amount of time and energy. Um, and or shearing them sooner in the year, shearing them a little bit earlier before it starts. Oh, someone says, I know where you can get Icelandic fleece from. Yay.
That's Loch Ness again. I
We'll
think
chat
you
later.
need to have a wee chat
Yeah, have a
after the
little
live.
chat later. Yeah, so that's, I'd love to develop that as a yarn, and to experiment more with the idea of Scottish Lopie. Yeah.
I love the whole idea of that, just the name Scottish
So
Lopie.
do I. Yeah, Slopie. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the second thing that you will have at your stall that people coming should not
Well,
miss?
I
And
think,
I should just say, while you're grabbing
yeah,
that as well, that if you cannot wait until the festival, or you can't physically be there in person, if you're going to go online, place a little order with Marguerite, Westfield Croft, please do just stick in a little customer note saying that you've discovered her through ourselves. It just
yes,
helps kind of that traceability of where people have discovered each other from.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I've got to show the baskets. So
I love Frank's baskets.
it is linked into where we live. So when we moved into our place, it had two areas of willow which were really overgrown. So we cut it all down and processed it for firewood, and then one willow coppice regrew with basketry type willow, which is the green you can see here with the bark on. The stuff with no bark has been processed further, but mainly it's the willow with no bark on is come from our croft. So yeah, I'm hoping we'll have lots of nice kind of baskets like this that people can buy for putting their lovely wool in or their yarn in, or for just for decorative or useful purposes. So yeah, we'll have baskets, and Frank will get cracking and make some more.
Just thinking that that would look amazing with a cat mat in it.
It would, and that's our next
And a cat.
product. You read my mind.
If, what you should do later on, everyone, after this live, is to go on to, I think it's, are they on your Instagram? I know that they're definitely on your Facebook, but
Yes.
you do have a lot of photos of your cat mats
Yeah.
with cats on.
Yeah, I will. I might repost on Instagram some of the cat montage that we have with cats lying on their mats.
Please do, because
Yeah.
they are an absolute joy to look at.
Yeah. So the other product I just wanted to show is, if the fleeces I get either from my own sheep or from local sheep don't go into yarn, they're not wasted. So I make little cat mats, and I make big rugs too. But honestly, the most popular thing tend to be these small, sort of like 50 centimeter square rugs that people buy for their office chair or their car seat or for their cat. So they're kind of like this. So they're just little woven rugs with the natural fleece texture, and I like having a play around with colours to give it a little pop of colour on the end of the mats, and they go into your pet's bed or on the back of your sofa, and the cats love them. I think because it's natural wool. The conversation always revolves around, my cat won't use a bed that I buy, and then people have a go at a cat mat and they feedback that the cat loves it because I think it's natural wool. I don't over process. I wash the fleece, but I don't over process it. So it still smells quite sheepy, like there'd still be a smell of natural wool from it. So yeah, I think it's those two things. Plus they're really warm, and we know cats love the warmth. So yeah, I'll have some cat mats. Quite a
Yeah.
lot of cat
My
mats.
Smeagol, she's a duvet dweller.
Yeah.
And comes out smelling like a cheesy Watson later on each day. In fact, I know that's exactly where she is just now. Where's my Martha? I think it is partly because she was born in a farm and she was found next to her mum, and her mum had sadly passed not long after she'd given birth. So my little Martha Bean was a hand rearer from Cats
Okay.
Protection, and
Oh,
she is a wool seeker.
yeah,
You know, I've got to
yeah, they love
be
it.
really, really careful when I'm knitting with natural wool,
Yeah,
you know, the thing natural wool, not the hand dyed merino, but the actual wools
yeah, wool.
when she's
Yeah,
around, because I can't even put it down to go and stick the kettle on or whatever. But she's in and she's on it,
yes,
needles poking out and everything. And I'm going, your wee eyes! Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've actually got one of these old hospital boiled wool
right.
blankets you used to get. I found
Yeah,
one for £2 in the charity shop,
yeah,
and that is on the bed in the spare bedroom. And more often than not,
she's on that.
that's where I'll find her. And it's the wool.
It's the
It's
wool.
just
Yeah,
something to do with
yeah,
the tactile and the smell and the
yeah.
just the reasons why we like it as well, I
I think
suppose.
it
It's like
is,
just
and
maybe
it doesn't.
we're cats.
Yeah, I think it's just it's the depth of warmth in them in the
Yeah.
mats too, because they're really fat, like they're chunky, and so
Mm.
they just they love them and they don't wreck them. That's the other thing. People always say, "Oh, they'll wreck it," and they don't tend to. So
They don't.
yeah, I'll have some cat mats with me too. So those three
Okay.
things: the undyed yarn, we'll have some baskets, and I'll have plenty of cat mats. I better get making.
So was the cat mat the third thing that you'd chosen,
Yeah,
or did you just
no,
happen to
no,
have it there because of an
I was
album?
going to show cat mats.
Love it!
Yeah,
Absolutely brilliant.
yeah. Great
Okay.
minds think alike.
It's like I'm in your head
Yeah,
or you're in mine, which is maybe not the best place to be right now. But those are your three things
yeah.
then. Out of all the vendors and the products that are coming to our show this year, what's the one that you're most looking forward to seeing? The one that you can't miss?
Well, I would love to go and see Maria, Benjamin, and Zoe's from the Wool Libraries talk. I'd love to go and see that, but I'll certainly go past their stall and have a look. I find their work very inspiring because they're exploring single breeds and trying to look at unusual breeds. And Maria is a farmer as well, and she's generating some interesting crossbreeds to try and like enhance our native breeds with perhaps with a like a blue-faced Leicester or something cross. So yeah, I really want to go past their stall and see what they're doing at the moment with their work. I find them inspiring folk, and yeah, that's one I want to go past and see.
Yeah, the tickets for their talk have been going really well. I
Yeah,
think we're just one or two off being two-thirds of all tickets gone
fantastic.
within the week. That I think within the first couple of hours, a third of the tickets are gone.
Yes,
So they've been really, really popular and for good reason.
yes,
So it's really good to see kind of people getting behind that. You know, that's where we're going forward with all sort of regenerative textiles,
yes.
for lack of a better phrase, the slow fashion, the not reaching for generic wools or generic yarns. You know, the whole. I think they've got 27 within their wool library
Yeah, and that's what
that they
really
spent
interests
time
me, that it's
researching and
that it's, as you say, not generic. They're enhancing our native breeds with how it's being processed as well. So yeah, I find their work really inspiring, and I think that's one to keep an eye on. They're an incredible pair of ladies that are doing great work.
definitely. So just before we wrap this up,
Yeah,
do you have any of your sheep behind
yeah,
you? Are they there?
they are there. Let me have a little, I'll have a little wander in. If I turn the camera around, does that work? Yes, it does.
Oh,
Hi, ladies. They look up because I think I might have food.
is it food?
Yeah, they have plenty of food in here at the moment. Hi, girls. So she's a Barre. That one there. So they're small breed of sheep, relatively small. They all have horns. And she had a lamb, as you can see, or others. That's my
Oh,
Icelandic sheep. She's going into her lammies. And we've got one of each in this little collection and a Hebridean. Hi, girls. And the rest are over here. So you might see some of this year's lambs because they're still with their mums. That's a lammy. Hiya. So all my lambs this year are crossbreeds apart from two. So I borrowed a Hebridean, an Icelandic tup. So he went on to my mix of yows. And so we've got two pedigree Icelandic offspring and the rest are crossbreeds. Look at this guy. He's got a grey fleece coming through.
It's like, don't stop looking at me like I'm
I
a woolly
know,
jumper.
we're just getting bums at the moment. So we had a lovely selection of lambs this year. White, grey, black, and two brown ones which are down the bottom. So yeah, and they're all enjoying the grass in here.
So how many heads of sheep have you got now?
Let me turn that around. I have 16 adult and 9 lambs at the moment. And our land in the winter can take about 20, 21 is probably the maximum without me having to put too much input in, and I can rotate them around. So yeah, I'm hoping to keep most of the lambs, especially the ones with the best fleeces. So yeah.
I mean, how do you choose? Because they're all adorable, and I know that's maybe not the right way to be thinking about it. But
yeah, it'll be based on their fleece. So if they hold on to their fleece next spring, I'm hoping they can stay. If they rue off their fleeces, I'll probably move them on, because I want to get the fleeces, basically, not to be picking it off the fences. So that will be one of the characteristics. A couple of my Boré rue their fleeces off, and if the Icelandic cross carries over that trait, I'd probably move them on as basically as lawnmowers, as for someone with a small holding who just wants some sheep to keep their grass down. They're great for that.
yeah, I've been threatening, or half threatening, to borrow some goats to deal with my dock leaf
Yeah,
problem
yeah,
over here.
yeah.
But excellent.
Goats and yeah. Well, to be honest, the sheep that I have, the only thing they don't really like are nettles, but they will eat the docks down. And yeah, they're a bit spoiled at the moment because our grass is really good this year. So yeah, they're having a nice time this summer, getting quite big.
Well, good grass, good fleece.
Yes,
So
yeah,
the conditions
yeah.
are right. So
Nice.
let's just hope.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
So I think Binty's Farms there, the Borere is a wonderful breed. The outer coat is very characterful and the undercoat is so soft.
It is. And I found that the tan-faced yows have the best fleece. So I kept the tan-faced yows that I have, I've bred from this year, and 2 of their offspring are similar. So I found that their fleeces are just a little bit softer. The ones with the grey face, some of them can have slightly coarser top coat. So yeah, just trying to, not in a big way because I just have small numbers, but in a small way gear it towards a better fleece for fibre.
Marguerite, thank you so much.
You're welcome
for coming on and having a little chat, and just how wonderful to see your flock as well.
I have a little nose at the sheep. Oh, here we go. Hello. My cat.
It's like someone talking about cat mats.
Yeah, there she is. She's just our little farm cat, Clary.
Oh, bless. I think we've got another question that's really interesting. Are the tan faces a specific bloodline?
They could be. All of the Boré I got when I bought them initially were all from the same croft up in Caithness. So I don't know if their parentage was different. I could go back in and have a look at their pedigree thing, their flock line, breed. So yeah, I might go back and have a look at that actually now someone's asked me the question.
Yeah, more interesting than something like ancestry.com or something
Yeah,
like that, like cheap
yeah,
lineage.
yeah, yeah. I'll go back in and have a look at their breed names that were in their heritage if they had the same parent or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. Got bonus farm cat.
Yeah.
It's like my day is made.
Yeah.
Marguerite, you're always an absolute joy to speak with.
Welcome.
Really looking forward to having you back at the festival in September.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and we've got a lot of making to do between there and then. So
Definitely. Definitely. I think we're going to need plenty of cat mats. I do know we had shearing crafts last year, and Pam's coming back
yes,
again. And that, in
yeah,
fact, I think she may have recommended us to
yeah,
you, if I'm
she did,
remembering correctly.
she
But
did, yeah,
I am aware that there are lovely people like Needle and Fred, who was taking a year off, but who came up from Manchester just for fun, and she went home with one of Pam's very expensive, extremely beautiful
yeah,
rugs
yes,
for her cats,
oh
and
yeah,
she wasn't the only one.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, Pam is definitely coming because we're sharing our Airbnb together. So, yeah,
oh, lovely.
we'll be there, no problem.
That's brilliant.
Okay,
So thank you, Marguerite.
you're
Thank you,
welcome.
everyone who joined in the live. I know that some people are just joining now. Don't worry. Give us a few moments. I'll have this saved to our grid so you can go and watch back from the beginning. And I'll also be saving this up to our YouTube channel. So I will see loads of you really, really soon.
Yeah, take care. See
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.